Now we have our guest speaker. I'm so excited for Ian Flannigan. Ian is a highly accomplished real estate professional with over 17 years of expertise in the investment niche. With a focus on multifamily new construction projects and collaborating with hedge fund clients to acquire rental properties, he has a knack for consistently spotting lucrative opportunities that generate impressive returns. Ian is a remarkable leader whose exceptional skills have resulted in the creation of a thriving brokerage within the brokerage here at eXp. With an impressive revenue share organization boasting over 2,600 agents, Ian's team achieved an astonishing 5,009 closed transactions in 2022. His unwavering dedication and remarkable achievements have established him as a highly sought-after influencer in the industry. Everybody welcome Ian Flannigan. Ian.
Hey there, Tanya. How are you today?
Great. So glad you are here. I'm going to let you take over on your slides and tell us.
Awesome.
I'm excited as anything over this.
Well, thank you so much. I am so thrilled to be here. And what a better meeting to go off to talk about building your revenue share business with having Brent Gove and you guys promoting the build events. And let me tell you guys, surrounding yourself with high-level achievers is how you level up in real estate. And I got to say, over the years, that's been a huge key to my success, is continuously learning and continuously sharpening my skill sets in the niche of real estate. So it doesn't matter where you are today, you can get to wherever you want to go. I like to say real estate's like a ladder, and you get to choose how high you go. You get to choose your income, right? There's always challenges that we're all going to face in real estate, but we have this unbelievable business that has literally no ceiling in it. But today's topic is all about fearless prospecting the right way. And I'm going to give you guys some scripts and some tools today that's really going to help you in your business and really help you build your revenue share organization. So just a little bit about myself, guys. I live in Plano, Texas, which is actually a suburb north of Dallas. 17 years, somewhere around there, give or take, probably a little bit more. But you know, my big why is my dedication to my family. I have a 27-year-old son and I have a 4-year-old daughter. So I'm 48 years old, and hitting that reset button and having this little angel in our lives. I mean, yeah, she's a 4-year-old, so she gives us the business every once in a while. But this is what I love to do. We just got back from a beach trip. And I can't tell you how much I am just in love with this little girl, and everything that I do is for my two women there, my ladies. And it's very important for you guys to really discover your why of what gets you out of bed and what drives you to become the person that you desire to become. Here's just a very quick disclosure, right? Building your revenue share business, it's going to take some persistence. It's going to take a burning desire. Sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. And your success will depend on how well you exercise these qualities. So who is ready to take their revenue share income to the next level? I should see all of your avatars jumping up and down, doing the little dances, doing the backflips and all that fun stuff. I just like to throw this in there because I actually created this presentation for eXp University a while back. And I've had some great response. So what you guys are going to experience today is a very condensed version. I know we're limited on time today, but I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to pour into you and kind of share with you what's helped me grow my organization to the size it is, and give you some tools and some scripts that you can walk away today from this meeting. So the very next time that you talk to an agent, you're going to feel a lot more confident. Here's a quote that I love. You can have everything in life that you want if you will just help other people get what they want. How many of you believe that to be true? Type that in the chat there. This is a mantra that I live by. And being in real estate sales, right? It's not about you. It's about service. It's about serving people, helping people. I see the zig, the yes, the facts, so true, exactly. And it's the exact same thing with bringing agents on over to this incredible company, eXp Realty. So you can literally have everything in your life if you just help other people get what they want. So here's some things that I believe that are critical, and you have to really think about this as building a business, like building a brokerage within the brokerage. Guys, Glenn Sanford, our founder, is allowing agents to sit at the ownership table and participate in the upside of the company and participate in the cash flow of the company. How many other brokerages are doing that? Well, there's some copycats now, but we're the innovators, right? We're the first ones. We're the disruptors. We're the Amazon. We're the Apple. We're the Uber. We're the very first company to penetrate into a market and change an entire industry that hasn't been changed in, gosh, guys, I don't know, 100 years when Coldwell Banker started. And then we had the franchising boom in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But these are some takeaways that you have to really be focused on a weekly basis. Is number one is just building a list and always adding those contacts. And where do you get that list from, right? Well, it's people on the other sides of transactions and referrals from mortgage brokers and title companies and all that fun stuff. Building a wealth chart. A wealth chart is your scoreboard. If you go to YouTube and type in Rob Flick wealth chart, he does a wealth chart training. He's the one that created the wealth chart. And Gene Frederick and Rob Flick were our two pioneers that came into Texas in 2015 and 2016 and really hit the ground running, really sharing this model with all of us today. So here's another big key takeaway, which I'm going to dive into a little bit more of this later, but question-based conversations. This is something that I took away from a coach that I had hired to help me in my endeavors of just talking to people, having conversations. And what I mean by question-based conversations, it's the same thing when you go to a listing appointment, right? You're trying to build rapport. You're asking questions to the seller, the owner, like, hey, why are you guys looking to sell? What's your timeline? What's important, right? You're finding out the needs of your client. It's no different with attracting agents, right? So you have sellers, buyers, and agents. And every single one of those niches, you have to understand that you're coming from a place of value, but driving your conversations through questions is something that took me a while to kind of figure out. Like, I wasn't a born recruiter, right? This is a skill set that you develop over time. And once the light bulb goes off and you realize it's not about you and it's not about all the great benefits the company has, and there's a lot of different acronyms and things that we can say, but understanding when you're talking to an agent, you're in a needs analysis, right? It's a framework in your mind of what's happening now, what's happening in your business. What do you enjoy? What do you not like, right? And you move into a kind of a negative thing. You're trying to find out what's not going great in their world. What's the rock in your shoe? What's your challenges? And then appointments to show the eXp Explain model. There's a lot of different ways that you can get the information in front of them, which I'll touch on a little bit more here in a bit. And then third-party validation. And when I say invite into our world, I mean connecting your prospects to other agents, our broker team, our influencers, our leaders, our corporate staff members that are in place to help onboard agents. So invite them into our world, because outside looking in, you really have no context as an agent looking at the company. It's cloud-based. You really don't know what that means. So inviting them into our world and then connecting them with other great leaders in our company is super important. Here's where the rubber hits the road. How to reach out to agents the right way. When I mean fearless prospecting, you really have to take the emotion out of business itself, right? If you're nervous to talk to agents, then you just really haven't developed a skill set yet that can really drive those question-based conversations. So there's two different approaches that you can take with agents. A prospecting approach is a very direct approach. An indirect approach is more building that rapport. And this is something that I learned early on in transactions, where we're halfway through a transaction and I'm so excited about eXp because it's radically changed my life. And I start asking these questions. Hey, what have you heard? What's going on? And then the guard comes up and then they ghost you. And then after the transaction, they don't ever take your call again. So I said, you know what? I got to do something different. I'm going to take an indirect approach. Right? I'm going to build that relationship. But back to the direct approach, because this is a prospecting session, I'm not really going to focus on the content creation and that inbound type of funnel that you see the YouTubers and the influencers build through blogging and videos and stuff like that. That's a different presentation for a different day. This is direct conversations with agents. And here are two questions that every single one of you, every single person in this room right now, and you can add this to your tool belt and your skill set, and it's no matter what it is or where the setting is, it's, hey, what have you heard about eXp Realty lately? And you let them talk. And then the next question is, hey, are you open to learning more? And it's going to go one way or the other, right? If it's a positive one, they may want to learn more. If they don't want to learn more, just move on with the conversation. So this was a big impact that I had in my mindset and my thought process and the way that I was having conversations with agents when I just asked them, hey, what have you heard? Well, because we know they don't know. Very sophisticated business owners outside looking in, they don't understand how the interworkings of the company, the compensation structure, the way it all moves, all the moving parts. How does the stock work? How does the vesting work? How does the direct purchase work? They just don't know how all that is. So if you ask people, what do you know? They really don't know. But asking somebody, hey, what have you heard lately? It could be a news flash. It could be something negative from their broker. It could be, who knows what the answer is. But the follow-up question is, hey, are you open to learning more? And that'll take the pressure off of you, and that'll take the pressure off of them. So just like any sales business, this is about high touch, high value, high nurture over time. Over the last couple years, I've had so much more success because I've understood that it's not about me. I'm not trying to shove something in somebody's face to get them to pay attention. It's just providing value and being a resource to agents that I've had more success with bringing people in than I had in the first couple years. And just to give you a background, my first year, I only brought in 4 agents. 4 agents my first year. People are growing so much faster today because I wouldn't say the growing pains are over, but back then, like, a lot of states weren't open, a lot of markets weren't open, and it was a challenge to onboard agents in different markets when eXp wasn't even in that market yet through the MLS. And that was kind of a deciding factor of us expanding into different regions around Texas and Louisiana and the Dakotas and Florida and all that, was becoming a member of an MLS. But we had to have a producer to come in. So back then it was a lot different. It was a lot more challenging. So the scripts and context was a lot different than it was several years ago versus today. So those 4 agents turned into about 25 in my second year, and I started seeing some consistent revenue share coming in. And it wasn't any life-changing income, but it was real, it was happening. And then I thought to myself, okay, I might as well pay attention to this a little bit more. And then I started getting coached, and it was more of just connecting with people that could help me and collaborate. And then also the agents that were coming in my organization, finding running buddies, finding people that I could really build this business with and really provide a lot of value. And then in my third year, it crossed over a couple hundred, and then it started to compound, and it really just took off from there. So it's just been life-changing for myself and my family. So the indirect approach is always a great, comfortable way that you can build rapport, build a relationship with real estate agents. What do you love about your brokerage? Right? People like to talk about themselves. What do you not like about your brokerage? If you could change anything about your brokerage, what would it be? Right? Understanding that when you're having conversations with agents, question-based conversations is always going to lead you to a deeper connection, a deeper conversation. Here's something that I had to learn very, very early on, very quickly. Now, these are Brent Gove's numbers. Now, the conversion percentages. So if you've piqued the interest of somebody, right? That question, hey, are you open to learning more? And they say yes. Well, there's some different ways that you can get this information in front of them. I always recommend you get face-to-face with agents, maybe a Gene Frederick napkin presentation. You guys should learn the model, understand how to run the numbers, crunch the numbers. You need to know how to do the splits. It's actually pretty simple if you've been in real estate a while. If you're newer to real estate and you don't really understand how the back end works and how everything splits up, just spend some more time. But my point is getting face-to-face and belly-to-belly with people is going to be your highest conversion ratio. Now, the next thing, if they're in a different state or a different market or Canada or South America or something, then you're going to have to move into a Zoom or a webinar live presentations. There's a lot of different eXp explained presentations on the web. You can dive into Workplace right now and go to eXp Family Tree. I believe they do one every Wednesday at 10 a.m. A lot of our leaders and influencers get together and they trade off on doing the presentations. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get agents in front of the eXp Explained webinar. You'll have a higher conversion than sending videos. And this is something I did early on and I failed miserably, and I don't send videos to anybody unless we've already had great conversations and they are in their due diligence process, right? Just finding a contact in your phone or Facebook or whatever the case and just sending them videos saying, hey, check this out. You're just a gnat, right? And what a gnats and flies do, you just kind of swat them away. So face-to-face, build rapport with folks. If you can get them on a Zoom webinar, that would be the second best thing. But just blindly sending videos and trying to get people to watch the information, it's not going to move the needle. It's not going to get you where you really want to be, which is bringing agents on and helping them sell real estate and then helping them duplicate over time. So these numbers are still true today. So here's some foundational elements to success. And I got to tell you guys, just like buyers and sellers, the fortune is in the follow-up. I can't tell you how many times, for example, I was at the Build event last summer, walking down the hallway and I hear Ian, and I turn around and there's Cindy. Cindy was a top producer at Fathom Realty. We were friends. I kind of lost touch with her. I was like, hey, what are you doing here? Who invited you? She's like, oh, I've been here for 2 years. That's on me. I dropped the ball of following up on her. So follow up, right? Building your things, everything into your calendar, building a database. And then a lot of people say, hey, well, what do you use? How do you track? Like, I use spreadsheets. I do use CRM Grow. I use that for prospecting for business with my hedge fund client, but I don't necessarily try to put agents on a drip. I've tried it. It's not really authentic. It's not building rapport with them. The way that I've found the best way to drip on agents, which is a follow-up system, which is I put everybody in a calendar like A through Z. So the first of the month, I follow up with the people who have last names with the A's. Second of the month, it's the B, and then sometimes I'll miss a couple days and I'll group them together. So putting people into a calendar system like that is something that's worked for me. And then consistently prospecting, that's reaching out to folks. And if you're really serious about building this, which if you want to get it to some big numbers, you have to treat this very seriously and build it like a business, is tracking your numbers. I used to track how many conversations every single day and every week that I would have with agents. I tracked this in 2021 for 4 months. It takes a lot of discipline. I spoke with 600 agents in 4 months. So if you want to get to big numbers, you've got to put some big numbers on the scoreboard. It's the same thing with buyers and sellers. If you want to list more houses, you got to talk to more sellers. If you want to represent more buyers in transactions, you've got to talk to more buyers. It's a math equation. We call it KPIs, key performance indicators. To get to your end goal, to get to your end number, you've got to track your numbers. So now you have some predictability. And then something that I track is my 30-day team growth. I have to pinch myself every day. I logged into my back office right before I got on this call, and I've had 145 agents join the organization in the last 30 days. That's significantly, what's the word I'm looking for? Motivating, inspiring. I'm so grateful. Like everything that eXp has done for my life, it's poured into so many other people. I am so grateful for this opportunity for you guys because it's here. It's real. I'm living, breathing proof. I've failed and continue to fail. I was actually watching some content last night and a gentleman was talking about failure is a part of the process. If you don't fail, you can't move forward. You can't measure anything. So it's just super important to be very conscious about what you're doing, what you're saying, and tracking it. It's the same thing inside your real estate sales business. Those agents that are selling 500 plus homes a year, do you think that they have some systems and processes in their business that they track and measure? Absolutely. If you're trying to go from 1 transaction to 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, everything is you have to track the numbers, which starts to become predictable over time. So tracking your numbers is really important as well. So this was a modified slide deck. Like I said, I didn't know how much time I had. There was probably about 25 more slides. So if you guys want to open up your mics, I want to really take some time to collaborate with you guys. If you have some questions, type them in down here into the chat, but this is for you. The broker team here at eXp Realty is absolutely incredible, and we're here to serve you guys. Anything that I can do to help you guys, I'm available through Workplace. I always answer my messages. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back because once again, I'm on my daughter's schedule. I actually time block my daughter's time. So my morning is blocked off and 4:30 plus is blocked off as well. So during those hours, I'm dedicated to my family. Hey, Veronica. Just saw that. Hey, she's in my organization. And some context too about talking about the organization. So over time, we've developed this language, right? We're a real estate brokerage, right? We're not an MLM. We're not XYZ. So if you're talking about people above you, I'd suggest you use the word senior partners, senior leadership, and people that are underneath you, I would say my organization or junior agents or junior partners or just organizational agents or revenue share team. There's a lot of different ways that you can say that, but I've removed upline, downline out of my vocabulary when I'm talking to agents. Did I know all 600 people that I called, or were you making cold calls? These were a combination of agents that I knew, agents that were in my CRM, agents that I did past transactions with, and a bulk of them were cold calls, but they were all in my local area. It wasn't necessarily I'm just randomly calling agents all over the world. But at some point, you're going to burn through your warm list. There's going to have to be at some point where you're going to have to reach out cold. And you can go to open houses. You can go to your MLS board meetings. You can go to new construction bus tours. There's a lot of different ways to start cold conversations with agents. So just don't think that you're kind of stuck in one box. Let's see here. Where did you go to get the initial ongoing training? Kelly, well, that's a great question. Coming to trainings like this, collaborating with other agents. I'm continuously seeking information, right? I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to improve my skill sets. I'm trying to improve my language patterns. I'm trying to learn more techniques to where when I'm having conversations with people, not that I'm trying to be persuasive, but if you're not armed with great conversation, it's the same thing with going on a listing appointment. If you're untrained, you're going to fail miserably in that listing appointment. Right? A polished agent that's been selling for 15, 20 years, that sells $50 million a year, if they come behind you, who do you think that seller's going to choose? Right? So collaborating and connecting with agents on this topic, and like I said, go to Workplace, there's an abundance of, let's say, revenue share training. So it's just a combination of the people that I've been collaborating with for years, and now it's been 7.5 years. Let's see here. Liz, do you have a list of questions that you ask when visiting? You know, I used to archive questions, needs analysis questions, but over time I really didn't focus on that anymore, because once the light bulb goes off and you understand a needs analysis, and Dave Gagnon in the early days of eXp was training this in the cloud each week, needs analysis, and it's an acronym for NEADS. N is what's happening now in your life and business. E, what do you enjoy? Life and business. A, what would you alter? That's the negative part. You're trying to find pain. D, how do you make decisions? Life and business. And then S is setting the next step. And the next step can be a coffee appointment. It can be an email with a link to a resource. So whenever I am wrapping up a conversation with an agent, for example, like a deal that I just closed with an agent, we were praising each other. We had such a great conversation, such a great smooth transaction. And I'm setting the expectation that I'm going to be reaching back out to them. Not about eXp, right? I didn't prospect them. I went the indirect approach. But every time I reach out to them, they take my call. So just understanding that whenever you're having a conversation with agents, sellers, buyers, it's always a needs analysis, and it's always asking questions. And then at some point you ask them, hey, are you open to learning more? Well, the first question, hey, what have you heard about eXp Realty lately? Second, hey, are you open to learning more? And if it's a no, that's great. That's okay, right? I learned this from Haas Pratt, right? You can't get discouraged, right? We're in a sales business, right? You got to remove the emotion out of your day-to-day activities, right? If you're not talking to 15, 25, 30 people a day, then you're probably not selling the amount of real estate that you want to sell. So if you want to increase your sales volume, talk to more people. You want to bring more agents to eXp Realty? Talk to more agents. Let's see here. Martin, what's the best place to send someone that says they're interested in learning more about eXp Realty? So I would invite them to either a live local lunch and learn, or I would invite them to a webinar. Hi, sweetie pie. Molly just got back. I would invite them to a webinar. So you can go into Workplace. You can find out who's hosting webinars. There's a lot of them in there. I would suggest going to eXp Family Tree and find out what their webinar schedule is, so you know exactly when it is. So if you're talking to an agent on a Saturday or Sunday and they say, yeah, I'm open to learning more, you're like, okay, great. Hey, we have a live eXp Explained this coming Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. Does that time work for you? And if they say yes, great. Set up a calendar appointment. Send them a calendar invite with the Zoom link. Follow up. And if they don't make it, that's okay, because that's going to happen over and over and over and over. So finding resources through eXp Realty, there's an abundance of resources here. That's the thing about this company that people don't realize outside looking in, is the people here is really the magic. And I really believe that. So Tanya, how are we looking on time? Hard stop at 10 till.
Yeah, we're doing okay. If you want to answer another question, that we're good.
All right. Philip is correct. I've heard that real estate business is more about marketing than sales. It's all about marketing. The biggest marketers sell the most houses. So having obviously a service-based business to help people buy and sell, right? That's a repeatable process. Marketing and advertising is how you drive people towards you. And the more people that know you, the more people that you are top of mind, That's how you build a referral business. My sales business is all referral, plus the hedge fund clients that buy properties. But you know, I've run Facebook. I've done and tried everything, guys. At the end of the day, it's about becoming top of mind with a lot of people and building true, real relationships. There's an event on Thursday in Austin. Yeah, I think I saw that. Was that the open house event? I actually just sent an agent that link this morning.
One more question there. Answer Philip there.
Sure. I'm getting into this industry. What would you recommend for a new agent? I would say be very strategic about the people that you reach out to. Start with your cell phone. Start with the A's. Use a spreadsheet. Put their name, information in a spreadsheet. Once you get about 50 to 100 contacts, upload them into KV Core. But being very intentional about reaching out to people, because once again, this is a people game, and also the more people that know you, that you become their go-to top of mind realtor is how you get referral business. And most new agents typically get their first deal through somebody that they know, family member, friend, coworker. It's always the case. So being very intentional about reaching out to people, letting them know the good news. Hey, I'm in real estate. Get together a preferred vendors list, right? A contractor, a handyman, painter, plumber, pool, all that, and have something of value that you can say, hey, would you mind if I sent you my preferred vendor list, right? Then you can get their email, then you can start dripping on them once a month with a newsletter. But it's all about people. That's my suggestion. Tanya?
Hey, Ian, thank you so much. Here's Ian's information. It's up on the board for you to see. You can reach out to Ian. Thank you for all the insightful information today. Let's give him a round of applause.
You got it.
Everybody know how to do that. Let's clap. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can clap. Here we go. All right. Thanks so much, Ian.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much for coming today.